Check the sound, please. No sound.
Whoops, sorry about that. I didn't have my microphone on. Thank you, Mark. Welcome everyone to the 136th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'm also joined with two other hosts, Mark and Peggy, today. And I think we're ready to welcome the Universal Council to today's meeting, and they will direct it. So let's begin today's workshop.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Marie from the Universal Council, representing the Norwegian language. We have a presentation.
It's really hard to hear you, Marie, like your microphone is far away or something.
Okay, so, okay, is it better now?
It's louder, that's for sure. So,
okay, did you find
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, did you find the presentation?
Yes, we'll start that now.
Okay, so then I start with the saying, welcome to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace. And through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are equal and all are as creators as they are created in the image of the Creator. So you can go to the next slide. I can continue with this one. I just want to remind everyone that there is an ongoing exhibition in Linz in Austria, which shows among many other things, the Universal Body Enhancement Unit. And this exhibition will continue through September. So it's still time to visit the exhibition, and this link on the screen is where you can get an entry ticket. And this is a picture from the exhibition, and you see the beautiful Universal Body Enhancement Unit in the back. Okay, so we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, because there has been going on a lot of work in the background, collecting email addresses to especially citizens of Austria, and the Universal Council supporters has really done a great job and worked very hard. So there is a lot of emails that has been sent out with invitation. And as we all know, all Austrian citizens are can enter this very exciting exhibition for free. Just bring your passport or something that can show that you are an Austrian. Okay, so I think we go to the next slide. We have Stefania. Can you hear us? I know she's translating. Okay.
Yes, sorry. Yes, yeah, because we're translating now. We are a little bit late with the picture, so I was not aware Yes. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stefania. I'm part of the Universal Council and representing the Italian language. And once again, we're just reminding you today about the Dome of Peace. So we invite you, anyone who made the guns, the Cup 1 and Cup 2, to spread the guns in the air. And we have two appointments, one at 12 o'clock European time, and the other one at 6 o'clock European time. So make sure you got your alarm clock, because a few times happened to me that because I live in UK, I wrong the time. The importance of this is to create condition, to create condition. As we know, we have to create condition to materialize our wish or our vision. So, and our vision, as you know, it's world peace. And as you know, we give freely this technology in exchange of world peace. And one way to also bring peace in the world is spread the plasma, the guns in the air, and also connected. So the fact we do once a week, it gives us a chance to connect all of us in those times. And as we know, being connected at the soul level also is very, very important to create the plasma dome, because you make a container. So, and right now there are knowledge seekers all over the world. And if each one of us does a simple things, just spray the guns in those times, and there are many of us, so we kind of connected in those times. So this again, he will be able to prepare condition for make our wish to come true. Yes, so I really thank you. I really thank you for doing this. So thank you so much. Thank you.
We can go to the next slide.
Yes, this invitation for UCM or UCS. Hello, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, it's a little weak, but I think it'll come in. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. This is Shweta Anwar, UC Hindi language, and this is the invitation for sorry, I apologize. This is an invitation for Universal Council members to join, or UC Universal Council support members to join. Welcome, welcome, dear ones. Welcome, dear souls. Especially the younger generation, I appeal to them, to their souls. This is the call of love, call of peace, call of light and knowledge. Join the invitation. Join as a Universal Council member. Join as a Universal Council supporter. Because as we know, in the universal community, we are still sharing each other in a way, knowing unknowingly the love and the peace. So we are here together to make the transition with a new cycle of love. So this is what I want to say about the invitation is in the background. For the background information about the Universal Council can be found in the UC Charter and the UC mandate on the homepage of the Universal Council. The decision to join with
Okay, so we lost Sweta.
Yeah, we can't hear you,
so this is very
Shweta.
important to connect to the soul. And hello.
Yes, we lost the last couple of sentences there, Shweta.
Okay, I will repeat. I will repeat. The background information about the Universal Council membership or UCS Universal Council support about the information about the universal can be found in the and the UC charter and the UC mandate can be found in the homepage of the Universal Council. The decision to join will be made by your soul, because soul is the most important, universal, the supreme love, to connect to the universal creator. Walk with the ethos of the foundation, my dear. Receive the knowledge of all love. Create the beauty and totality forever. Apply as an Universal Council member for the open language position. Apply as this is the Universal Council page. Please go to the Universal Council page. See the purple color, the violet, the color of ascension. See the mandate, see the charter, go through it. You will feel it in your heart and soul, the love created by the energy of the foundation. Welcome to the council. Welcome to the Universal Council energy. Welcome to the Universal Council supporter energy. Welcome to the foundation. And here's the application coming, my dear ones. It is taking some moment, but see the page. It is beautifully arranged. And again, call for every, this is the page. See the violet color, the color of ascension. Please join with your soul. If there is a pen of soul, write with your pen. Be in love when you are writing. Be in peace when you are writing. Join the Universal Council membership and Universal Council supporter membership. And then there is no, just you have to join, fill the application. And there is no struggle, no pain, no walking on fire, no competition, no examination. Just transform. Transform into a beautiful butterfly, fly high and high, in the colors of the rainbow, when in love with all the lovers passing by. So please welcome, my dear ones, welcome again to this platform, to these pillars of knowledge, love, energy. Walk with the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. Much, much love, lots and lots of love, always love. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear Rick. Thank you. And I also want to say that if there is a little time will take, because the exhibition is going on and many of the core foundation members are busy in that. So please be patient. Your applications, if you have given, you have filled up, will be answered as early as soon possible with our love energy from the council, from the foundation. So yes, this is the page. Is the link is given in the next slide, Rick? Is the next slide is about the links or?
It's at the end
Okay.
of the presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you, Sweta. And the next presentation we have is from the Portuguese community with Rafael Teixeira from Brazil. So, and he has a presentation that he needs to share from his desktop, I think, or from his computer at least. Hope that is okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, Rafael from Brazil here. And so first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for allowing us to speak about the work that we are doing here in Brazil with the structure that we built here. We try to explain a little bit about the structure that we built for the coronavirus situation and with the Cup of Life. And we will make this presentation in Portuguese language by Dariane. She's a knowledge seeker that's helping a lot here to organize all the groups. And then, but the slides will be all in English for all of you who speak English to follow, okay? Let me share my screen here. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Ok, thank you. Então, Dariane, você está ouvindo?
Sim, estou ouvindo.
So Dariane will start the presentation in Portuguese language. Pode prosseguir, Dariane, por favor.
Olá, bom dia a todos. Bom, meu nome é Dariane, eu sou uma buscadora de conhecimento e falo aqui de Santa Catarina, o sul do Brasil. E hoje viemos apresentar como a comunidade brasileira tem se estruturado desde o início da pandemia e mostrar como os voluntários têm se dedicado diariamente, fazendo esse trabalho lindo de doação, de amor ao próximo, com os copos da vida e com todo o ensinamento que vem junto com ele. E essa estrutura tem funcionado muito bem, e também na maneira como se é colocado em prática desde o ethos da Fundação Keshe e o uso da tecnologia. Ok. A estratégia que foi montada para lidar com o coronavírus e com a tecnologia da Fundação Keshe no Brasil. Próximo. Como estamos nos estruturando? Temos um ponto central de luz, onde todos os outros pontos de luz têm que se reportar. Desta forma, o ponto central de luz sabe o que está acontecendo em todo o país. Os outros pontos de luz são os coordenadores dos 27 estados brasileiros. Estes são diretamente responsáveis por todos os voluntários. No futuro, quando mais pessoas entrarem, vamos criar isto a nível de distrito. Os voluntários são aqueles que entregam a água de gans e o copo da vida às pessoas necessitadas. Quando uma pessoa é infectada pelo coronavírus, ela vai para um grupo do Telegram, chamado Ponto de Ajuda. Este grupo é divulgado constantemente no WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram e no grupo do Telegram Keshe Brasil Corona Team, e chega às pessoas também pelo boca a boca. Quando uma chamada de ajuda chega e qualquer pessoa vê no grupo Ponto de Ajuda, os coordenadores do estado conectam a pessoa necessitada com um voluntário do seu próprio distrito, ou o mais próximo possível. O coordenador do estado é responsável por conectar o chamado de ajuda a um voluntário. Eles também acompanham todo o processo, desde o momento em que a pessoa pede ajuda até o final do processo com a água de gans. E no plano de fundo, temos um grupo de apoio de médicos, que são chamados quando surgem casos mais graves. Próximo. Estratégia de treinamentos e reuniões. Uma parte muito importante da nossa estratégia é a preparação dos voluntários, para que eles estejam prontos e aptos a dar assistência e as informações corretas quando chegar um pedido de ajuda. Espera-se que cada voluntário tenha feito o copo ele mesmo e que tenha ensinado o método de como fazê-lo a pelo menos 5 outras pessoas. Pedimos aos voluntários que coloquem as fotos de seus copos nos grupos da Fundação Keshe para que o ponto central de luz possa monitorar e certificar-se de que eles estão fazendo os copos da maneira correta. Criamos arquivos com todas as informações sobre como fazer e usar o copo da vida. E os voluntários, eles entregam esses arquivos e o tratado de paz àqueles que pedem ajuda com o copo da vida. No início, tivemos reuniões de treinamento via Zoom, onde os voluntários se juntavam em pares e se ajudavam mutuamente para aprender e a praticar, a ensinar como se faz o copo da vida. Uma pessoa ensinava o copo e a outra escutava e escrevia uma crítica sobre a sua apresentação. Depois de compartilhar a crítica com todo o grupo, trocava os papéis para que todos tivessem a oportunidade de ensinar. O objetivo era garantir que sejamos compreendidos por qualquer pessoa na rua que não saiba nada sobre a Fundação Keshe ou mesmo sobre a ciência do plasma. Ok, próximo. Também organizamos ensinamentos semanais sobre os copos da vida 1 e 2, onde um buscador de conhecimento que tenha mais experiência em ensinar o copo da vida possa ensinar a outros que queiram se tornar voluntários e a qualquer um que queira fazer o copo da vida para se proteger e proteger a sua família. Os ensinamentos são transmitidos ao vivo todas as quarta-feiras em um canal do YouTube chamado Keshe Brasil Community. Este programa se tornou muito popular e com mais de 60 pessoas assistindo todas as quartas-feiras. Nós anunciamos no Facebook, no Instagram e no principal canal da Fundação Keshe no Brasil, que é o Keshe Brasil Corona Team no Telegram. E o objetivo é ensinar o maior número de pessoas que pudermos, para que elas se ajudem com o copo da vida e naturalmente se tornem voluntárias, para ajudarem os outros, especialmente aqueles que estão em uma situação de emergência. Nós temos reuniões todas as segundas-feiras com os coordenadores, voluntários e buscadores de conhecimento que desejam se tornar voluntários. Revisamos as regras dos grupos de voluntários, as responsabilidades dos voluntários, o ethos da Fundação Keshe, e abrimos para discussão sobre a solução de problemas, dificuldades que os voluntários possam estar tendo no cumprimento de seu trabalho. E, finalmente, temos reuniões semanais com os representantes de cada estado. Compartilhamos ideias e desenvolvemos estratégias para alcançar mais pessoas com o copo da vida e em seus respectivos estados. Ok, próximo. As entrevistas em TV nacional, rádios e canais de YouTube. Nosso principal objetivo nesse processo era chamar a atenção das pessoas que a tecnologia para a solução do coronavírus já estava disponível para salvar suas vidas e as vidas de suas famílias. Percebemos que precisávamos melhorar a forma de como estávamos divulgando informações sobre o copo da vida, e por isso pedimos ajuda aos buscadores de conhecimento que tinham qualquer tipo de contato com meios de comunicação. Fizemos saber que estávamos disponíveis para fazer entrevistas e explicar mais sobre a solução da Fundação Keshe para o coronavírus. Ok. Entrevistas em TV nacional. Bom, já li esse título. Bom, no início, a gente começamos a falar em pequenas estações de rádio e canais de YouTube. E depois fomos convidados para canais de YouTube maiores e, eventualmente, para apresentar a tecnologia em uma das estações de TV no Brasil, em rede nacional, onde podemos chegar a todo o país e explicar às pessoas como é fácil para elas fazerem o copo da vida. Fizemos um copo para o apresentador de TV e ele colocou água salgada ao vivo para finalizar o seu copo. O diretor ficou tão impressionado com o programa que na metade da gravação ele fez ir ao ar ao vivo em rede nacional, imediatamente, e que o que eles fazem muito raramente. E depois foi retransmitido várias vezes durante a semana seguinte. Essa estação atinge 50 milhões de pessoas e nossas entrevistas no YouTube alcançaram 70 mil visualizações. Ok. Na noite em que a unidade de aprimoramento foi revelada na Áustria, falamos em um dos canais do YouTube que tinha cerca de 150 mil seguidores. Tínhamos apenas 1 hora marcada para falar, mas acabamos falando durante 2 horas e até próximo da meia-noite. Havia cerca de 1.500 espectadores assistindo e fazendo perguntas. E eles estavam tão interessados que ficaram online o tempo todo. E fomos convidados a voltar no próximo mês. Curiosamente, esse vídeo foi tão bem sucedido que o YouTube tirou do ar. Eles também tiraram outros vídeos que mencionam o copo da vida. Antes, eles permitiam esses vídeos, mas agora que está começando a ter um efeito nas pessoas, eles o estão tirando de todos os lugares. Por exemplo, os voluntários brasileiros fizeram um vídeo de animação muito profissional sobre o copo da vida e a Fundação Keshe. E agora eles começaram a tirar do ar em todos os lugares. Felizmente, pudemos colocar ele em TV em rede nacional, porque ainda era apenas uma novidade naquela época. Entretanto, colocamos o vídeo de animação em lugares alternativos, e você pode obtê-lo em português no site Plasma Circle. Uma nota sobre esse vídeo de animação: por favor, tente assistir em português original, com as legendas, com o seu próprio idioma, porque a voz e a música que lhe dão uma espécie de magia e que se perde totalmente quando você dubla com uma voz e com outra entonação. Ok. A importância do trabalho incansável dos buscadores de conhecimento no grupo Keshe Brasil Corona Team. Todos os dias, centenas de pessoas começaram a entrar em nossos grupos após essas entrevistas. Por exemplo, em uma entrevista em um canal do YouTube, houve mais de 45 mil visualizações. E logo após essa entrevista, o número de membros em nosso principal grupo do Telegram passou de 3.000 para 4.500 em apenas um dia. Foi quando o trabalho incansável e a organização dos buscadores de conhecimento tornou-se um fator chave para que pudéssemos lidar com um número tão grande e ainda poder dar a orientação correta para os recém-chegados. E os buscadores de conhecimento foram capazes de fazer isso, fornecendo as informações necessárias e também direcionando as pessoas para os canais oficiais da Fundação Keshe. Muito obrigada à nossa equipe, e que estava ajudando 24 horas por dia, 7 dias por semana, a sanar todas as dúvidas de todas as pessoas sobre a tecnologia. E, devido à situação de emergência da pandemia, muitas pessoas entraram em contato nos grupos da Fundação Keshe apenas para aprender o copo da vida, para salvar a sua vida e de suas famílias. Mas, pouco a pouco, os buscadores de conhecimento começaram a chamar a atenção dessas pessoas para o escopo muito mais amplo do trabalho da Fundação Keshe, a paz mundial e sobre os ensinamentos do Sr. Keshe. A estratégia dos buscadores de conhecimento era colocar posts constantes nos canais do Facebook e Instagram sobre o workshop dos buscadores de conhecimento de quinta-feira, e que eles são traduzidos simultaneamente para o português. Eles começaram habilmente a orientar as pessoas e começaram a aprender mais sobre a tecnologia por si mesmos, e que todo o conhecimento e suporte estavam livremente disponíveis para eles, quanto àquela questão mais profunda sobre o porquê do copo funcionar surgisse naturalmente. Ok, próximo. A importância, né, do trabalho. Então, aqui, ó, essa semana, então, o grupo do Telegram, né, Keshe Brasil Corona Team, chegou a mais de 6.200 membros, e os números estão aumentando cada dia. Então, esse é um print do nosso grupo. Ok. Muito obrigada.
Okay, thank you very much for listening to us. That was our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was so beautiful. And it's impressive to see how many followers you have in Brazil. That was beautiful. I don't know, Stefania, can you hear me? Did you have some questions? Well, I can continue a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mary. Sorry, I'm just because I'm translating in Italian. Okay. So for me, it was actually quite. I couldn't translate every page because for me it was actually going a little bit too fast. So I couldn't translate properly in Italian. So definitely, I will rewatch this in the public Italian teaching and carefully because first of all, really well done for the Brazilian team. I'm really proud of what you done. I'm very happy. I didn't realize, in details what happened. So well done. I just want to say well done to all of you. Yeah, and yes. So I missed the beginning as I was translating. I had a slow start, so I missed in the beginning. So how you organize the group? So I would like to know the very beginning, the first page. You said you had a central point. I don't know if you can talk a little bit more about that. Because I think that it's important. This is where I think many of us is now. For example, in the Italian group, we are not many numbers, but we all definitely were working very hard, and we try to do our best to get organized. But our weak point is that we do not have, for the moment, we don't have enough people to do all the job that need to be done. So for me, my question is, how did you organize the group at the beginning? So you had a main group. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, sure, Stefan. And
thank you.
Do you want me to share that slide again, or?
Yes, please, if you can, because
Okay.
I think this is super important. I mean, okay. for me, I think.
Let me go there, back to the first slide. This one here, right? So your question is how we start to organize ourselves in the beginning. Is that correct?
See, and Rafael, if I don't answer a certain way, it's just because, as you know, because you translate live as well, is okay. Only because I'm finished off to say in Italian, but I'm here and listening. Yeah.
Okay. So as we're said here, we have a central point of light, as we call, and this central point of life in the beginning basically was just a very few people, and that were more engaged by listening attention. But basically, with me, since I had this more direct contact with Mr. Keshe, and I was making a lot of and have direct contact with Keshe Foundation too, but we have all the group in the background helping all the time. So basically, in the beginning, they were reporting everything to me, and I would direct everything to Keshe Foundation directly. What was happening here? So little by little, this group start to grow, and people start to put themselves to teach, because that's what we are trying to do in the Keshe Brasil Corona team. It was, as Mr. Keshe always tried to teach us, is about create the conditions for people to start to develop and to create and to show their qualities and their how they can help. So that's how we start to create this group here. People start to show up, people start to help each other, and I start to call them to help more, how they could help more, how they could organize, And always in the beginning, trying to put very clear what Mr. Keshe was showing to us in Thursday teaching, the seriousness of the situation in this pandemic situation. And mainly our responsibility that we had since we had this technology in our hands and the knowledge in our hands gave freely by Mr. Keshe and by Keshe Foundation. So little by little, this, I think, start to develop this sense of responsibility in all the knowledge seekers here. And they start to learn more and to go to the Thursday teachings, especially Thursday teachings, and somehow they connect more with their souls. And those who are more connected, who became more and more connected, start to create this structure that we call the central point of light. That basically is those who are always aware what's happening in the groups, and they are aware of what's going on, and not just in the main group, that's the Keshe Brasil Corona team, but in other groups that we create to facilitate this donation of the Gans water to people who are in need, that are the groups of states of Brazil. Something similar that I think you did in Italy in the beginning, because in the beginning we tried to follow, first to organize our structure, to follow what Mr. Keshe was telling about the Iranian group. So what they were doing, you were trying to listen the teachings of Mr. Keshe, the moment that he was explaining, especially the workshop number 319, if I'm not mistaken. That was a workshop that the Iranian group talked, and we tried to listen very carefully how they were organizing themselves to learn with them. So we were very much inspired by the Iranian group in this organization. And we did our best to try to build the structure, mainly following trying to be very aware to following what Mr. Keshe was asking us, is that the ethos of Keshe Foundation. So how for people to do their work freely and with this intention of serve, that's the main point. And so that's how the central point of light was created here in Brazil. And then we had this other point of light that we call the volunteers that are working relentlessly by donating against water in this period of pandemic, and all the other volunteers that are coming out to help in making videos, making images, as this one that you are seeing here, and helping with the organization of the teachings of Friday teachings of Portuguese language. All of us get together and try to make a structure for the teachings to become something solid, to have a beginning, a middle, and an end all the time, and for people to know more about the work of what's happening in Brazil and to learn more about the technology. So this little by little is being developed. We are in the very beginning stage, but that's how we are trying to structure ourselves and organize ourselves here in Brazil.
So Rafael, thank you very much for this fantastic explanation. Okay, so very interesting. So you looked carefully so how the Iranian were doing because you were inspired by that, and then a little bit us, yes, because at the beginning I have to say we were quite. I mean, thanks to Lara and Ivo, that they done a lot of work in the Keshe Foundation for years. They were able to make these small groups. So we did we started similar where we had one Corona group, Italian Corona group, and then we divided in regions. And we divided where every region. So for anyone who was new and were entering, they could go to their region. And Lara and Ivo, they definitely give the work non-stop to make sure that who were entering had the full support with the cup. But somewhere we couldn't expand. So somehow the work only stayed in smaller people, in small group of number of people, and I don't know. We never managed. We kind of maybe burned out a little bit or grow. We were more efficient when the things were difficult, like in the beginning of the corona, when really we wanted to give the full support for saving lives. And then when the lockdown stopped and people start to go back to work, it's where for us was a little bit harder to keep up the commitment of the volunteers. So if I understood properly, and then I have to say we didn't have a regular Italian teaching. So just to recap, so you have one public teaching on Wednesday and one on Friday. So you have 2 teaching a week, correct?
Yes, it's here. Yeah, it's here. I'm taking the right slide. It's the volunteers. The beginning had, no, that's the next one. This is the correct slide. So we have the official teachings of Keshe Foundation. That's every Friday that happens. That's the Portuguese teaching. That we have the simultaneous translation in English language too. And we have these teachings just about the Cup 1 and Cup 2 that happen in an alternative Zoom channel of Keshe Foundation too. And that's specifically to teach about the cups for people who are new and for the volunteers who wants to keep update about how to make the cup and all this. And usually, as I said here, are the more experienced knowledge seekers who make these workshops. And we still have the Monday meetings that we have with the volunteers. So everybody who wants to become a volunteer and those who are already volunteers are gather every week on Monday for us to discuss about the work that we are doing. And this is happening since the beginning of the pandemic every week, since March, yeah, or February. And I think one of the main points that was 2 points that were very important in this work to expand the way it's expanding here. One is when the knowledge seekers, one thing that we are trying to put in all the meetings, that is the responsibility to bring this for them, to be aware about the responsibility that they had once they have this knowledge. And little by little, this start to grow here. So you could see by people, the way they were acting, the Keshe Brasil Corona team, the way they start to engage themselves, as you see in the picture here, teaching about the cups in their communities. But mainly I think that was one of the key factors for us to bring this all the time about the responsibility of a knowledge seeker. And once you have this knowledge in your hands, and the other thing was this organization that we made, because we try to keep these meetings, as I said, every Monday, every Monday happening, without like even some weeks we had some very few people showing up in the beginning and in the middle when the pandemic was not that so intense and people are thinking that everything became normal now. But we keep doing and keep announcing, and that's why we put here very clear in this slide here the importance of the relentless work of the knowledge seekers in the Keshe Brasil Corona team. I think that was the key factor, because when the meetings start to become with less people, because a lot of people were coming just because of the cup of life, they were afraid. But that's why we try to put here in the slide how they were very skillful, the knowledge seekers, in this process, because once people came to the cup of life, they start to post a lot of things about the teachings of Thursday, the teaching of the One Nation that start to happen. So these start to, and those who are more in touch by their souls with the teachings of Keshe Foundation, they start to help in making nice posts, to create these groups as we have here of the Brazilian community, the Facebook group, the Keshe Brasil community, the YouTube channel, Keshe Brasil community too. All of this before we always got in touch with Keshe Foundation, with Ella, with Mr. Keshe, asking permission. They were always giving the support to us full time, and was the key factor. We kept doing the work. It doesn't matter if it was just little people in the meeting sometimes, and the knowledge seeker who got in touch with their souls with this work, they kept posting, they kept calling people, they kept putting in WhatsApp groups, in Facebook posts. So I think that was the main thing, because here in Brazil, this happened a lot, and there was a decrease in the interest of the technology, about the Keshe Foundation work, and people start to get out and all this. But we kept the work with our hearts, and I think that was the key factor, the heart of the knowledge seekers here, by keeping the work even in moments that were not so. So it seems that the things start to cool down and people are not getting interested in. And we have a good example that people are still on this technology, because yesterday we had a meeting with the volunteers, and there was more than 60 people in this meeting. And it was beautiful to see how they were engaged to have more ideas to spread about the technology. And even yesterday we started to discuss in this meeting how to bring not just about the cup of life, but now start to go to this new stage of bringing about the agriculture, about the soul teachings, and how can we develop here in Brazil to spread this more to the whole country and to reach everybody here.
Ok, grazie. E un'altra domanda, quindi avete anche, immagino, chiaramente avete... Sorry, I'm speaking Italian. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do this all the time, the Portuguese thing. Sometimes I translate it in English, something that they spoke in English.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Rafael. Really inspiring. The endless work that you all been doing. So definitely, your strong point, if I repeat, is be consistent on giving knowledge, every week. So in those meetings, and you had one internal meeting on Monday, and then you had one meeting on Wednesday and one on Friday. No, if I understood correct. And the Wednesday was public and Friday's public teaching. Both public is correct.
Yes, all of them public teaching.
All of that.
And we post in the Keshe Brasil Corona team group that became the main group of the Keshe community here in Brazil.
Yeah, for example, another weak point I could say from the Italian team is that I found that people find difficult to even find us, because we got maybe more than one Keshe Foundation group. We're not tidied up. We're not in the Facebook or so. I suppose you got one Facebook page. You said you have. I think I read from your presentation, you have Instagram as well. And so Facebook, Instagram channel for the Brazilian group, plus Telegram. So these are the main channel you use for...
The main group is the Keshe Brasil Corona team on Telegram. So that's one point I think that was something that you try to follow what Mr. Keshe always tells us to do, and to not try to disperse in a lot of groups. So what we did was a very, very hard work in the beginning, because here in Brazil we had a lot of dispersed groups about talking about Keshe Foundation, mixing about other technology together with Keshe Foundation. So there was a lot of confusion here. So one of the main works in the beginning was to bring people to the main group that was the Keshe Brasil Corona team. So we tried to first of all unite people there, and we always try to bring this all the time for people to don't go to other groups. I know that people have even, of course, good intentions, but this was something that was asked specifically by Keshe Foundation to put everything in one group, I think. So from this group, then we start the work to develop this. As we create this Instagram group, the Keshe Brasil community, the Facebook group, Keshe Brasil community, the YouTube channel, Keshe Brasil community, but always linked with the work of Keshe Foundation, and always in these groups, directing people to the official channels, and all the thing that we post on the main group, the Keshe Brasil Corona team on Telegram. So the Keshe Brasil Corona team Telegram is the main group today of Keshe Foundation. And we try to always, in the other groups that they have, we try to post the Keshe Brasil Corona team to bring people to unite ourselves. So this is something that we are seeing. We saw here in Brazil was a huge thing. That was a lot of people were not united here at all. It was very dispersed in the whole country. And this was something that we were very aware and tried to unite everybody in one place. So, and I think that's the same thing that's happening now in the Spanish group too. That's a little bit that we are hearing about, and that we are trying to say to them, that we are saying here to everybody, that we try to follow exactly what Keshe Foundation asks and what Mr. Keshe asks us. It's about uniting ourselves. So the main group is the Keshe Brasil Corona team today of Keshe Foundation here in Brazil.
Excuse me, maybe someone there could post that in the chat, and then we can pass that link on to people, so that that invitation, excuse me, excuse me, the invitation link for the Keshe Brasil Corona group Telegram, that would be great. And we'll get some more people to join up.
Oh, thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, Rafael, I think this is another our weak point that we've been having, and we didn't sort it out yet. Exactly that. So it's very useful, I think, what you're sharing today, because yes, we have right now similar problem in the Italian group, where we have many little different groups, but I'm gonna now. I'm even more inspired. And we talked to do this, but we never managed to do it. We never come around to do it because we always give priority to other work. For us, yes, it's like we give priority maybe to something, and then other things have never been sorted. So this is another things that we have to improve as Italian team. But this I think is another weak point, the one you said, and very inspiring. So I'm going to have to put more effort on just make one clear Facebook group and one clear the Telegram group. It's fine. That is clear. It's just a Facebook, and I don't think we have YouTube. But yes, this is very useful. Thank you so much. And I suppose also that how did you organize the translation? Because this is another weak point that as Italian group, for example, we have. I speak like this because I hope that maybe the way I talk maybe help other groups, because I do agree what you just said now, that the goal of us is get united and work together. And first steps, it's to get this unitedness in each languages group. And then eventually, when we pass to the structure, we then can copy that on a bigger scale and be united and work together at worldwide picture. So it's like a micro and macro, no? So I assume by each one of us improving our own language group, you can do practice in a small scale, and then it will be easier for us to then unite each region, each nations, each languages. I don't know. So yeah, I also.
So the question, your question was about the translation. Is that correct?
Yes, because this is another weak point. For example, I have in the Italian group where we cannot be fast enough to, even though we got many volunteers in the Italian group, many, and I really thanks them, that to translate as much as they can the written stuff. We have a few who can do the simultaneous translation, And but we seems not to be enough to organize ourselves to update the Wikipedia, or to update in Italian, or to update, all the information from the Keshe Foundation in Italy. So new knowledge seekers, Italian seeker, they will have a more information in Italian. Yeah, this is another weak point that we have in, I think. So I don't know how did you organize that? How do you because that I think is important.
Yeah, this part of the translation, we don't have much people to do the translation at this moment, but they are little by little showing up. And we have now on Thursday teaching, we have Maria, that she's translated the One Nation, One Planet now. Today she had a problem with her computer, she was not able to do it, but they are coming little by little. And for documents and all these things, we have some people in the background that's helping, but not that much, to be honest. On the translation work, we still don't have much volunteers. And one thing that's good to put clear is we have, like, for example, a website that we create here. That's the KF SSI copodavida.com.br. is a website that we are able to translate most part of what's in Wiki in English to this website, because since there was this pandemic period and we need to have this information very clear to people in Portuguese language. And for the Wiki, I know that we need to go through some things to open a Wiki for Portuguese language. That was the only reason that we created this other website. That's became a main point for people to get information about the Cup 1 and Cup 2. I think that was a very important work made by a knowledge seeker here in Brazil, that he understands how to make website. But the translation itself was mainly done by me and by other 3 or 2 knowledge seekers. And we are trying to review. We have help from outside Brazil too, to connect with the English language, because I think that was another key factor, this help that we had to keep this translation very clear. And as Keshe Foundation is trying to pass, because it was another problem here in Brazil, the translations, a lot of misunderstanding of how people were interpreting the teachings that was given by Mr. Keshe. A lot of missing words, a lot of confusion words. So, but the translation that's what we are doing. We try to keep this work every Thursday with the teachings of Mr. Keshe, and now we have this translation in the One Nation. But still, we don't have much people on the translation work here.
Oh, grazie. Thank you. Thank you again, Rafael, for yes. So I understand exactly what you said. So this website that you have is a website. So if I repeat if I understood correctly, you have this website that it's connected. It's like a web page. Sorry, it's a web page that so people can
It's a web page. Yes, it's a website, but it's good to put clear that before we start to make this website, we talk with the Keshe Foundation, with webmaster of Keshe Foundation, with the head of Keshe Foundation, with Mr. Keshe, and we talk, and they said, no, okay, you organize yourself as a community. That's what was said, and then we start to make this website, and always update what we are doing, and trying to put the more, as I said, very careful about what we are putting there, exactly what's being said by the teachings of Mr. Keshe and the wiki of Keshe Foundation. But this is a website. It's a website that was made by one knowledge seeker that's a professional in this area, so he was able to do this in a very nice way and in a very fast way.
Okay, yes, yes. I think this is another very good point. Yes, because knowledge seekers, especially if someone new that entering, and if you have a web page where they can just go in and connect it with the Wikipedia and get all the information of the protocols, and so they stay connected with the source of the knowledge. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, very, very good. Yes, I think this is very inspiring too. So yeah, at the moment I don't have more questions. I don't know if anyone else want to make a question, and I see if other questions come up to my mind. I will also ask to my Italian group if they want to do any more questions. So if in the meantime other people would like to make a question to you, Rafael, welcome. So really well done.
Don't see any questions in the YouTube or the live stream, but Mary Beth says, fantastic job, Raphael.
This is
very
Marie. Okay, this is Marie. So I think the way you are training all these volunteers is very impressive, and how they are kind of trained to teach each other. It's very beautiful to see. Just wanted to mention that.
I have actually other question come up to my head. If no one's got question, I got more question. But I agree with Mary. Yes, very, very good. The way you worked, and you can see from the result. Yeah, my other question is how did you, for example, no? So from my understanding, so you start very few, and then you make consistency on the public teaching and internal teaching for the volunteer. The more experienced volunteer start to teach the CAP once a week, I suppose on Wednesday, if I'm understood correctly. So there was a consistency teaching of the CAP of life, number 1, number 2, because they're the one that save lives, so is the priority. And then you had the other public Zoom, like the Friday, to be update with what happening in real time with the technology. Also, you made a website page for connected with the Wikipedia, so people could have direct access to written material that was officially connected with the foundation. How did you get to the how did you get to reach the small registration or YouTube channel, and then go to the bigger one, and until to the national TV? Can you recap that process? Because that is also another process where it's not that easy. Yes, so and I would love to, if you can tell me more about, or tell us more about how did you make from to small internet registration then to bigger one? How did it happen? If you want to share again that bit, Rafael.
Yes, so as I said here, as Dariana was sharing here, there's one of the slides. Let me try to find here. It's here. It's here. So as we put here in the beginning, we start speaking in a small radio station. So this is all of the interviews that we made in radio stations, YouTube channels, and even in the national TV was all arranged by knowledge seekers, all of them. So I think that's why I put in the beginning very clear. I think the key factor when the knowledge seekers start to feel inside their hearts their responsibility to spread this knowledge. So when they start to become more aware, I think that was one of the main points that we focus in the beginning, to try to bring this awareness to all the people that were starting to study about technology and about Keshe Foundation, to know about Keshe Foundation, about the bigger scope of this, the broader view of this, and the importance of this, and the responsibility once you have this knowledge in your hands. So in the beginning, the knowledge seekers arranged this in smaller radio stations that we start to talk, and we start to talk about Keshe Foundation, especially about the Cup of Life in the beginning of the year. And little by little, we start to put this in the meetings too. In these meetings, weekly meetings, we start to put this to, if anybody knows like YouTube channels, hosts, or even TVs for us to speak, please let them know that we are available to speak about the Keshe Foundation. And we always engage people. If you are a knowledge seeker, and if you feel secure to do this, please do it, as other knowledge seekers is made on TV too and on YouTube channels. But this was all arranged by knowledge seekers, these interviews that we made, and including the national TV station. It was made by one knowledge seeker that have a very close contact with the people from the TV. And she was very touched by the work of Keshe Foundation, and she's really giving her heart to that, and with the work as a volunteer. And she's trying now to arrange another interview in the second biggest national TV here in Brazil. So we are trying to see if we can do that. But basically it was made by knowledge seekers, and the constant call that we're making to all of them, to the responsibility of having this knowledge, and the importance for it to spread this to everybody.
Thank you, Rafael. Yes, I mean, when you talk, it seems very, you said, common sense, steps. Like, yes. First of all, it's and every knowledge seekers take responsibility of when they're seriously taking responsibility of spreading the knowledge. Is there where the switch happen. Yes, I can resonate with that. Yeah. So I have a question from Italian from the Italian group, and I read it to you, and they asked me to ask you when did you start to organize all these groups? So. When did you start it? I mean, I think I know sorry. This is the question. They're just asking me to ask you, when did you start to organize all this group?
So this group will start in the beginning of the pandemic. It was February we start to organize this. February. Yeah, I think February. Is that correct? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I translate in Italian.
Okay.
I see we have a special knowledge seeker here with us now, Mr. Keshe, and he's got his microphone open, so I think he might want to say something.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon. Not really, my microphone stayed open by chance. I just came in to listen. You got to realize that the Brazilian community is huge. It's not small. And you got to realize Brazilian nation is about over 200 million people. And when we went as Keshe Foundation to Brazil the first time for the conference, it was obvious that there's a different style of life, different style of teaching, different style of understanding, that what we are used to in the West is totally different mentality. It sounds easy, but you have to understand the culture is there for it. Brazilians have a beautiful culture, and there are a lot of people who did a lot of hard work in the background for years. It didn't grow out of nowhere, but as we said, the Portuguese representative of the Universal Council kept everything under control that nobody could understand what's going on. When we arrived in Brazil, we saw a beautiful community and very vibrant, very, very knowledgeable. And this prompted us to go back for the second time within 2 months. And as I said before, when you do good things happen to you too. And we went there to set the Brazilian community, to interact with them. And we found out gems like Rafael. And there are many, many Brazilians that are like gold. And what we found out, very handful of the old, what we call league, they wanted to stick to old and keep it the way it was. But as I always said, the Keshe Foundation has to be in the hand of the youth. The youngsters will bring it, and Rafael is an example of it. With his vibrant, has changed the Brazilian, and we have the same in Iran with Yusuf. Yusuf has turned the Keshe Foundation in Iran totally upside down. But those who were the old guard, they don't want to let go, and they think because they were there 5 years, they have to rule the foundation. And you will see this. We give more room to the youth in the foundation. And as I said in even to Universal Council, don't stay on more than 20 years, and by age of 60, move out. A lot will follow the same. And this is the youth technology. Is them who's going to enjoy it more than anybody else, and it has to be in their hand. They know their way. This is one of the reasons I stepped down from the head of the Keshe Foundation some 4 years ago. Because when I handed it over to a young woman, Ella, she was 28, I saw a lot of resistance. All the old guard said everything they wanted. But we've seen how she turned it. And for the first 6 months, I said, you use my name, but you make the decision and you go. But in so many ways, even the many old knowledge seekers here by 5 or 10 years, step down. Except you're there to advise, except you're there to support, but do not go to take over. We have to hand it over to youth. It's their turn. We have built the ground, and they have to do it. We've seen it with Rafael. Every day, they work with a clear mind, they work with a clear new knowledge, they know what's going on, and they carry the youth with them. And the old guard want to stick to the old, that we were here first. And we see this. We've handed over the Chinese to a bunch of young people. The Chinese Keshe Foundation, the average is about 28, 29. But they're working. They've built a whole structure in China. We see in Iran, we see in Brazil. The older generation has to teach the younger and give it to them. Not to bring them just to be their, what I call, handmaids. And we have to do this. We have no choice. And youth like Rafael and right across, you look at Chao, you look at Chanlin, like Xiaojin in China. They're young and they are so vibrant, nothing can stop them. We see with Yusuf, we see with other places. Wherever we've seen the old guard in is a stagnation. This is the responsibility of us who think we are to step down I stepped down 4 years ago. I still work in the background. I still teach, but running in so many ways is in the hand of the youth and has to go that way. We should accept our position as advisors who listen, not advisors who advise, and step it that way. This is the time for them. And if I realize this one and the rest of the knowledge seekers do that, encourage the youth to come up and give them room. And you see what we've seen in Brazil. Very young boy. We just saw him as a translator over 12 months ago on one interview. We met him in Brazil in the first conference as a translator in a box. I call him the fish in the tank because they put him in a box. He was translating in a box. And you could see the competence. And me and the head of the Keshe Foundation and the people who were with us were so touched by his purity, by his sincerity of work. And we see it. In less than 6 months, they have set up the company. He's well establishing the Keshe Foundation to help his nation, nowhere else. And they are responding to it. We should see the same thing in Germany, in France, even in England, or in US. The old guard want to hold on to. And from young age, I always said, even in my mid-40s, business has to go to the young, otherwise it stagnates, and we see it. They know them, they know the society, they know the changes in technology, they're on top of it. Everything they know. We've been and we've done our work, now it's there to support it. And we see the result. We got to accept any business which the people who start stick to it is doomed for failure. I've seen it all my life. And we give room, we give total openness, and we've seen it. We had a disaster like Italy, but Italy wasn't a disaster. Italy was made to be a disaster, but those we will disclose in the future. When we brought the young boy to run, he was so vibrant. But somebody went there and deliberately destroyed it. And that worm is out of the Keshe Foundation. And we see it, they're still trying to disturb the people who are constructing the Keshe Foundation. Because they're used to destruction. We are used to building. I've always built and I left too young. It's not the first time I've done this. Because there is something, even I advise Rafael, in a few years' time, hand over to a younger one and stay the advisor. Because then it become stagnated. Then it become boring and people that are not there and you split. But we see those who old guard, they split and they think they set up, but gradually they disappear. And then they come back, I used to be, I was there. And this is a huge, huge success. Brazil is success because Rafael understands his society. He understands the need of his society. He understands the culture of his society. And if you can do that, you succeed. Then he does. I usually go to his teachings on Fridays and even I fall asleep. And but it's good to go to sleep with something which gives you a lot of life. You listen. Translation is so precisely done immediately. And it's amazing to run a 4-hour sessions, not a second gap. These are youth, these are the young people who have put it together, and the videos that they're producing is amazing. Yeah, and we see now we established a company in Brazil. We are officially a registered company, step by step, the other works of the foundation in Brazil will start. But 12 months ago, when we went to Brazil, or 11 months ago, we went to Brazil, till now is a big, big difference. Before it was one woman show and everything was Claudia. And now Claudia is in the background doing things as she was doing before, and the youth have taken over because now it's the whole of Brazil community. The whole community of Brazil now participates. And this is how it should be. Because each one brings their own speciality. One knows, as Rafael said, connection with the television. One knows diplomats, one knows politicians, one knows the schools, one knows how to make movie, one knows the people indigenous in Amazon, and they're working all as one team. And the beauty of it is Rafael sticks to the ethos of the foundation, and those who don't like it, he's the worst thing, because they could bend and do whatever they like under the name of the Keshe Foundation. Now they can't do. And he is the worst poison for those who used to use the name of the foundation and do everything else except work of the foundation. Hopefully in 21st of October, there is a conference, if they can organize it on the internet. And we'll see how that goes. And we build it up. And the beauty of it is something very, very special, is the way the Keshe Foundation as a family has started to operate. When I go to different groups, there are a number of regular people, but you see in the Brazilians, they're from all over the world. It's not just Brazil. And Brazilians see your name, they see you are there, so they enjoy, there are others with us. You go to the North American, you see they're from all over the world. It's not just Americans. And the only things we don't pull is in Iran, because it's in Farsi and is different style of teaching. But gradually, this is what has to become. We feel as one family, as one what I call bunch of people who are there to do. And it's nice to see. I sit back and watch how the youth are taking it, and I don't interfere. Rafael can tell you honest. He asks for advice, I give an advice. Otherwise, he's got a free hand. It's the same with the Yusuf, is the same with everywhere in China. I stay back, try to accommodate, try to keep the teaching on the front of this knowledge and this technology, and the rest is in the hand of the youth. If you look, we got China, average age of 29, 30. Yusuf and Ali and the Iranian team, they run about 28, 29. In Brazil, we are about the same. The average age of the Keshe Foundation, heads of foundation, is at 33, 34. Well, in that range, 38, average 37. So the youth with experience are coming in. But if you look at North America, the average is around about 55, 60. Stagnation we see. We look at Germany, we see the same, over 50, 55. And we see the same thing in France. This has to change. The old guard has to bring in the youth and give them the room, not let them to be in shadows. We see the same now in what you call other part of the world. Middle East is coming with a bunch of young people. Russia is the same. The Russian team in the background, a bunch of scientists, very young. They don't want to be involved or be part of the International Keshe Foundation at the moment, but they're extremely active at the scientific level. So it's, I think it's to say to the youth of the Keshe Foundation, or the young ones with experience, the ground is yours. We give you the floor and we stand there if he shakes to stop it. And we bring our experience to be there, but don't listen to us, but take heed and advice from us and use it in the way that it suits the present society. I enjoy sitting back and seeing youth taking charge. And they're capable. We give them room, they show their beauty. We cut their wings, we engage them in the prison. Give them room. Don't be afraid of somebody talks about ganses or whatever, but always tell them to stay humble. And you will see, you will enjoy the new generation. I really sit back and I listen to the way these youth are taking over and others are learning from them. And I say to myself, that was a good job done. It takes a lot of trust. They make mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, there is something wrong with us. And I always say to head of Keshe Foundation, if you don't make a mistake, you're not human. There's something wrong. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you make a lot of mistakes, and you make a lot of from mistakes, you learn it, then you're positive. But you try to stay within the structure and ethos of the foundation. We see even the young ones in Universal Council are very energetic. But Universal Council has a different dimension of the youth. I call them in the mid-30s, 40s. You see them. Because they're committed in a different way than the rest of us. Anyway, congratulations. I'll try to go into, if I'm awake, to the Brazilian teaching or the Iranian teaching. But as I work all day, somewhere something happening, midway I fall asleep and they carry on. But it's beautiful to see them developing, and we support them heavily. And at the head of Keshe Foundation, being so young, she understands them, she collaborates with them. And I enjoy seeing how she vibrantly pushes everything in the correct way. And it's the same with all the youth. My advice to all of what I called old guard is to step down. Step down to become advisor, not a step down to disappear. A step down to, as I said to the universal counselors, age of 60, step down and advise. Go to become universal council support. And some of them is what you call it is biggest sin. But the sin comes when you don't let the soul of the man reaches its maturity. And the youth are the soul of the future. We gotta let them to grow. Anyway, thank you very much, Raphael. And I thank all of you to be there to bring it here. And hopefully in the near future, a lot of you will be there and say, I was there when a change came and when it was done. But we need the youth to bring us to the point. And I hope in time they bring and give the what I call the torch to the new generation that don't stick to it because they did something. The man is a true man when he knows his time and position. And 4 years ago, I saw a youth with a full understanding, and it was a pleasure to ask her to take over my position. And I had the same joy with Yusuf and the same with Raphael. Because I'm proud in what they achieved, because it's what we achieved together and we see it today. one of the youngest, has managed to bring the Keshe Foundation right across the nation. Thank you very much.
But I go for 46, so I assume I'm old.
You're ancient.
Yeah. Good. I'll start to look for young. I was even thinking to get involved. My nephew. She's really, but she's 13, maybe too young. Yeah. She really likes the Keshe technology. Yeah, but I think this is really really makes sense. I really liked this to give the chance to the youth. The youth are the future, and I agree everything you just said, and I think it's very beautiful. I remember even in the motion. Do you remember, Mr. Keshe, when you taught us that you hope you said you're too old? Do you remember? You say it would be easier to teach to kids when you were teaching about the soul. I remember that. And yes, the young people are the future. So I think, yeah, I agree everything. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
It's very quiet here. I think I better leave. You carry on better without me. No. Every time I go everywhere, it becomes very quiet. I wish you...
Mr.
Pardon?
Keshe,
Yes.
Liliana from Mexico would like to know if the Spanish-speaking group could form a group like the Brazilians have done so.
You can do it. We don't discourage. Brazilians have a center at the moment in what do you call it?
Brasilia.
No, the Spanish, the Mexican, if they can, you have a center in what do you call it?
Distrito Federal, yes, in DF.
Yeah, we have a center there which is not used at all. Is well set by our man.
Yes, yes.
I know it's the Corona there. They used to be active. There are people going there, but do you have to use the internet across and reach the people as it can be done? There is no limit. The biggest problem is at the moment we see is in French community and in German community, and even the English community. They haven't managed to gather together the strength to work as one. They stopped working. The French were doing very well, and the Germans were doing very well, and it was my biggest mistake regarding both that those who realized the thing is doing so well and they wanted to disrupt it and destroy it, they did their job and they took my hand with it, in a way, becoming partner in the crime without knowing it. And later on, we realized exactly what was done. Every time we saw a community thriving and very successful, building up, key members of it were targeted to be take out of the foundation with different excuses. And at that time, I didn't see it because you don't trust, you don't believe the ones who are close to you are so conniving, so deceitful. And they did, and they took me to do the job for them, and that was it. And we did a great damage to the French community and the German, and somehow we got to get it back. The same with the Spanish.
Yes, from Spain, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Italian group also.
This is the problem. This is the problem when we work with sincerity, we would listen to, we rely on those who share pillow with us, and they betray us on the pillow. This is the conniving which happens. People we trust, they work for the others to make sure the foundation breaks up everywhere. And that will not happen anymore. That is over. And a man has to be strong enough to admit to when he's done wrong. I did wrong, extremely, regarding the German and the French and the Spanish. They were very active, very powerful, and they were building it up. And they realized the Keshe Foundation becoming strong doesn't work for what they were after. And they went for the heads of them, the way they went for the heads of the Keshe Foundation. And I told you, the biggest problem is when you share a pillow, you trust. And when you betray, they betray you everywhere. I realized months later what has happened actually. The plan was to destroy, but we get it back. The structure is beautiful. Today we saw French in the exhibition for the first time. Germans and people from around the world start coming in. I have a beautiful pleasure to meet Jalal tomorrow. I think he's arriving late tonight. And we see him from Norway. Keshe Foundation supporters start finding their way to come in. And as I said, it puzzled me how we had such a successful team, even Italians. They went for the heads of every group which was becoming big. And they knew what they are doing. They studied everything where to hit. And trusting a partner, it brings you a lot of pain when it's betrayed. We got to bring it back. As I said, the what I call the infestation, the rot in the Keshe Foundation has disappeared, is gone. Uprooted. Now it's time to grow back up again. I watched how come so many people working suddenly, they went directly, they studied who they have to take out with the group they're working with, and they went for it. And they took the heads out. And the head of Keshe Foundation has a different principle. We don't let nobody out. Now all groups can work together or next to each other. If I tell you the pain I carry with these things is unbelievable. When they sell themselves, they sell their souls with it. We got to get the French and the German and the Spanish and even the Portuguese Keshe Foundations back on track with the youth and the old people who were with us. In so many ways, it's apologies from me trusting what I call prepaid services with those who we trusted.
Is it interesting also, Rafael, that when he said that they put up a lot of videos in YouTube and they just keeping shut down you
I
know,
always do everywhere. At the moment, with the Keshe Foundation, we don't have the problem of one thing or another. It's a multitude. I was supposed to be on a trip today. Today's Tuesday. And I was supposed to be a trip next Tuesday for a special contract, for a special job. We received advice to abandon the trip for security reasons. And it comes from national securities, advise us not to make the trip. We get every direction, all sorts of things we have to watch. So, as I always say, we carry on with a positive and we carry on to build on it and let it be. They can bring it down. They brought every time, how many times you put in different things about there. If it is against us, they publish it. You go, everything against about Keshe is there. Anything positive is taken out. Vatican is spending a fortune with the Belgians, with the Germans, the pedophile group. We are watching it, but the thing is, we are doing so much, so extensively that it doesn't make any difference. The exhibition already is becoming a success on its own in respect to what we wanted to achieve. Today, out of nowhere, a mayor and a deputy mayor appeared in the exhibition, out of nowhere. They wanted to be there. They heard about it and they came. And officials, university people start dropping in. That's what I said to the Universal Council members. Don't stop the work with the foundation. Don't stop the work on population of Austria. Keep on going back. Universities, doctors, advise people, just send your messages. I know there has been a lot of discord, there has been a lot of pressure on a lot of you, receiving a lot of rubbish from ex-Universal Council members that whatever about my personal life, these are the ones who can't see the success. You got to realize something. I was thinking this afternoon when I was coming out of the exhibition. The arrogance is that if I wasn't there, it would be a big failure. They can't do anything. And the beauty of it is, Keshe Foundation Austria has pulled one of the most beautiful exhibitions. And it's because of the work of the head of the Keshe Foundation, the head of IT, the head of the Keshe Foundation Austria, the people who come from all over to be there to support. We have a guy from England who's coming and parked with his caravan, and he's there all the time. We have the team from Romania flown in to be there, and we have people have made it a beautiful presentation. And when you come in, it's a family gathering. It's a family of knowledge. And as I said before to the Universal Council, there was a claim there would have been no Universal Council, nobody, nothing but except one, and everything was one. And it's the same. We've seen a group has set up one of the most beautiful exhibitions. Very simple, but so much knowledge. And it's collective job. And I'm proud to announce with the most greatest pleasure, Keshe Foundation exhibition in Austria in Linz, due to its success, has been granted 1 year of exhibition at the center as of yesterday by the authorities. We've been allowed to run the exhibition for 1 year, which is very unusual in an international exhibition center. We were supposed to finish on the 30th, the building which is owned by the authorities of the Linz, by what we call Central Community of the Linz, has granted the Keshe Foundation to run the exhibition for 1 year. And so we received it yesterday, and it's been a pleasure to be accepted to be a permanent home. And we start showing the technology. And as you know, I was talking to Klaus and says, you know, the head of the person responsible for the exhibition, which has to respond to mayor and others and to the central government. He said, we receive so much email rubbish about you and everything, and we come here and we see technology, we know it's all rubbish. He said, what we received so much from the Germans, we did on whatever, and from everywhere else. They bombarded every mayor, every councillor, every office, the office of the exhibition center. And they came and said, the technology is a major breakthrough. And you stay. And we were granted by the city of Linz yesterday that we accepted the offer to stay as a permanent exhibition for 1 year. And this is congratulations to all of you in keeping the technology and people coming and see. As I said, out of nowhere, we had a mayor turning up. And it's beautiful to see the technology is going this way. And maybe on Thursday we make an announcement that it might surprise a lot of people in a big way. As I said, as a joke to someone today, you know, when you put two together which are in love, they make a baby. The development of the two enhancement units, its baby has been ordered today to be manufactured. You will see a third unit appears within the next 2 months in the exhibition center. The unit will be slightly different, and we'll announce it on Thursday exactly what this unit is going to be. So when you come in, you will see a third, what we call, unit right in the center. And it will sit where the spaceship is sitting, where it fell off. It'll go there. We've asked the manufacturers to do a rapid development delivery of it. And you will see a big difference. As usual, we will announce it on Thursday, but as you know, I go everywhere nowadays and teach. Maybe I can tell you now. The flight version of the enhancement unit, the flight enhancement unit carrying 5 passengers has been ordered today. So not only you have the enhancement unit, not only you have the production of the material, the What You Dream has been a UFO, has been ordered today to be manufactured. Is placed to accommodate 5 passengers. And the price for it has been put at €10 million to replace the present aircraft with no engine, with left-hand motion. The technology is ready to be delivered. We will release this picture within the next 7 days, as we did initially with the enhancement unit. Carries 1 captain and 4 passengers. We estimate flight time from Linz to Washington in 5 to 10 minutes, and we will demonstrate it. And we release what we call initial pictures of it, and maybe by next Thursday. It's uses gravitational system with full protection. And as I said, we're getting ready for 21st of March. And we promise we'll have the flight system available. We'll be about 3 months ahead of time. Now you wanted the surprise, you got the surprise. But we'll announce it again on Thursday. The full evolution system, and in the flight system, everything which the man needs will be provided. We estimate Beijing, Vienna, or lanes will be about 15 minutes. And we demonstrate very soon the technology. Now that the running of the Keshe Foundation is in the hand of the head of the Keshe Foundation, a strong team of her own, what they call a accord between the two, is getting set up. I have time to develop the technology the way I want it. And today with the manufacturers, they know exactly how it's going to be, and it'll be most probably designed, delivered to us by next week, and manufactured, delivered before January in the show. You will see now we have a permanent exhibition. You will see the first flying systems without engine, without motors, without fuel. Any questions?
Thank you, and a big congratulations, Mr. Keshe, to have that 1 year window to develop the exhibition center there and make that perhaps a center for recognition around the world for this new technology. It's beautiful. And also for this new design with the 5 people involved in the unit, that's another big step as well. A lot going on in the background, obviously. We have Jefferson with a hand up here. Perhaps we can allow a question there.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Thank you by your presence here with us. Mr. Keshe, my question is, we know that the worst problem, one of the worst problems that we have in the planet is the pollution. I would like to know if in the next workshops you will teach us how to construct devices, equipments that could transform the trash that we have in the world in other materials that could be useful to the planet, useful for the humanity. This is my question.
This is part of the work which needs to be done long term. We have introduced systems for cleaning up the pollution and the waters. One of the biggest problems now is what we call the plastic pollution, the ocean, and that kind of parameters. Now that we have introduced the new flight system, with it will come a lot of cleaning up operation with these flights. We can move different way. Yeah, a lot of people should have understood when I explained very recently, past couple of weeks, that we are moving away even to make ganses with no plates and no material. In the teaching of last Thursday, They should have understood there is something on the wing coming up. And we step towards what I call new technologies with understanding of the science, not to be enthusiastic to do something. There are a number of problems that when you work in these kind of solutions for finding solutions, is not to do it in a way that you create another problem. Every solution for pollution has to be considered deeply before a mass movement against it has taken place or to be taken place. If, for example, we go for mass cleaning of oceans from plastics or whatever plastics we have, the amount of material we will release will be beyond that our atmosphere can handle. If we do it in one go or we do it in a very short term. If even for any kind of pollution, even with the nuclear, we have to find a way to stage it in a way that we can use it, or we can change it at a rate that it doesn't create another atmospheric disaster. It's fantastic to clean all these huge islands of plastic in the oceans, but you try to do it in a, now that we have a technology, we can convert it. Then this will create a massive problem. The flight system we introduced just now, in combination with the setting inside it of a conversion of plastic, can change, literally disappear, or open up the CH bonds on all the plastics. You just need to fly over it. But how much of it can we change? And we cannot absorb it back to keep it as carbon or hydrogen. You got to realize the technology we have delivered can change a lot of damages we've done. It's just to understand how to use it. If you understood the principle of atmospheric condition creating an atmospheric zone around the system, and you can create that atmospheric condition that opens the bound of the plastic, which is very, very easy. Do not forget that if you go back to the teachings of very, very early teachings, even you go back to the first Coca-Cola bottle, and many of you tried it, you saw how you opened the bond of the CH and carbon and the thread on the top was gone. Your plastic becomes thin. This technology has been with us. You didn't understand it at the time, but now that you understand and you've seen it, and now we have the dynamic specific configuration and the flight now added to it. Where do you want me to fly it over what? We know how we decompose the what we call the plastics, and we did that over 15 years ago. And what I call now, all I need to do is do it in a field of strength. All I need to do is develop it to be in a flight system. And how do you want me to clean up the oceans? The knowledge is extensive. What do we do in most of the cities now? We collect our rubbishes, separate them, and then we burn them. And then we separate the plastic, we melt it. With this new technology, you don't need to. Even the skin of the banana can go into a system and becomes composite of its own energy fields. These are not fairy tales anymore. We will show you technology in a coming short time that you could not even dream it could exist. But this is beautiful, the way, and I said to some of the knowledge seekers very recently in Lens, it's beautiful the way the press is controlling that nothing from the Keshe Foundation comes out. Because now when we show the technology, it will be the end of the press for a lot of things. Because when you have a flight system of flies, when you have a system which produces material, then I wonder the people who are coming to the fair or contacting us for purchase of the units ever listen to these, what I call nonsenses. You got to realize there is a lot going on. And a lot of governments, since enhancement unit has been released, have created a condition of how to handle the Keshe Foundation. You got to realize something very interesting. I have to explain to you that you understand. There was a plan, the way I told you about the French and German, there was a plan, a steady plan, sending emails, texts, messages to all the very top Keshe Foundation people that Mehran Tavakoli Keshe is mentally demented and is losing control and is going mad. He's 40% bad, 60% bad, trying to create an aura and a cultivation that are mentally, what you call a disorder, that the control can be given to the pillow fighter. There was a big plan. I told you we opened it slowly because we saw the text and emails going on everywhere, trying to establish gradually that I'm mentally disabled or unstable, that the Keshe Foundation then can be given to the petting, what I call head sharing pillow. And then when she takes over, then they use what they had hold on to take over the Keshe Foundation. Many of you received these kind of emails in the past 6 months, and especially past 3 months. There was a systematic plan to say the technology is complete, there's nothing else to teach, and that's it, now we take over, and then systematically trying to discredit me and everybody else within the foundation that only leaves one queen, and that queen hands it over to the people who were taking the Keshe Foundation over. And we were aware of it. We were well aware of it. But we let them play. We watched on the sideline. Text going to everyone. He's this, he's that, he's this. And he talks about this, he talks about that. To start creating atmosphere that I lost my marbles, as we say in English, and then going for mental institutes and then take over, that the lady becomes the queen. Now you understand. Many of you received these messages. And then for what they had a hold on the queen, they take over and run the queen. That's why the head of the German and the French one by one disappeared. Because the structure was to bring their own in, and then Keshe Foundation will be dismantled. Now you understand. Many of you received, especially in past 2 or 3 weeks, more of it. We open, I told you in time, the plan. Now, the reality is those who claim that the foundation knowledge is finished and is complete, they did not know the universal technology is being to be delivered. And now you receive it. The whole thing was to be done just before the enhancement unit to come in, that they could snuffle it. It would not go ahead. And if the enhancement units would not be shown, then the technology had no credibility, and now they could dismantle it. And this is one of the reasons I flew to save my life and stay alive and make sure in Austria we release these 2 units. I took a flight to save my life and the foundation, and it paid off. And I'm not crazy. I delivered one of the most sophisticated technologies man ever known, with a group of honest, hardworking people, knowledge seekers who are there and share the same ethos as me. And the technology, the beauty of it is just started. Will open the knowledge to man that man has ever knew, did not even know that existed. But there was a plan to kill the foundation at the point just before. If you notice, every time we were about to show something big, they tried to hit. That goes, but it didn't work. We saw with Iran, we saw with Brazil, we saw with everywhere else. Because we are correct, because we are there to serve humanity. And it'll be nice when we deliver you the picture of the first, what we call integrated universal system. This system has not even been shown properly in the universe. Well, the universal community are aware of such a development, and you will see it for the first time. It will be shown on Earth, and you will understand when we show it. The technology inside is so simple, but in advance, even the universal community language. And you will understand more and more of it. And I requested for the head of the Keshe Foundation to return back to Austria for Thursday, because there might be some interesting to be shown. And she has to be present in the administration to complete it. And the technology to be shown, you will understand how deep and different it will be in totality. And in a way, this is a gift to Universal Council. You stood by us and you're doing your work, and we are in return bringing the whole thing together. But you got to understand, human race has a flaw, and that flaw needs to be corrected, and that's the flaw of killing and destruction. They even destroy what they build themselves. So you will see very, very amazing things will come from the Keshe Foundation. One of the reasons you should have understood, if you understand my way of working and the way I give coded messages, all of you should have known why I put that UFO on the top in between the 2 units. Three weeks ago when we opened up, I put it there. Because that's where the UFO will be shown. That's a UFO of universal community. This is a UFO, what we call identified flight system, which uses the most advanced technologies. That's its place. That's why I brought that UFO there. Because it'll be replaced with the real one in the coming weeks. In so many ways, you have to understand fully how things happen and how the technology will be completed with the third unit sitting in that position. And as I said, a flight system like this, I already informed the Keshe Foundation head of operation that this will be marked as 10 million euro. And we show it, and I promise you we can do better than what we've done with a lot of other things in flight. In the way it is controlled, and it will be controlled. Any questions?
Yes, we have another hand up here with Mark Curran, and I see Jefferson says, thank you, Mr. Keshe, in the chat here.
Yeah, I'm tanked.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spanish for thank you. Mark, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Mark from Cape Town. Thanks for all the info you're giving us on this beautiful flight system, the enhancement unit, and the lovely show that I've seen on video and Thursday's teaching. Question I'd like to ask there is, how is the man in the street going to afford all these beautiful technologies that the Keshe is bringing out, Keshe Foundation?
Man in the street, excuse me, let me answer you this. This is a lot of Keshe Foundation. Man in the street, MRI unit is about 10 or 5 or 10 million euro. Man in the street gets on it when he needs it and he pays for it. Man on the street gets on a jumbo jet, and which is worth $250 million, $300 million, and he pays for the ticket of it. He doesn't need to pay for the jumbo jet. Does it? Every time you fly from South Africa, Cape Town, the most beautiful city in the Cape, to London or New York, do you pay 340 million, 250 million to buy a jet? Or you just pay $100 for use of it, or $200 or $500 for ticket?
No, I fully agree with you there.
So it's the wrong question to ask. The man on the street, as he needs a system, he pays for the system for the use of it.
Thanks for answering.
One time you mentioned, Mr. Keshe, or many times actually, that the materials enhancement unit might be used to offset the costs of the body enhancement unit, the use of that for people that had a center set up, for example.
The Keshe Foundation, with the new system we launched today, actually we asked it to be manufactured today. We were online with our manufacturers putting the last, because now we finish with enhancement unit and what you call the material unit. We have done all what we want. Most of the ironing out is done, correction is done. And this afternoon with the Keshe Foundation Chinese team and the Austrian team, we were online to put the final touches before the mass production starts. And I asked the manufacturers that this thing is finished. Now I want to do this one. And so it is the same as what we call, like the present aircraft. It's an aircraft door, opens up, you enter the one seat captain, one facing the door, and 3 position, 2 on either side, 1 in the back end. And we don't expect you to carry any luggage, because you can come back in 5 minutes. What's the use of carrying your luggage for? So in so many ways, we see the development of the new technology to bring in changes which every man can afford. And it has to be at the reach of every man, but as they need at the time they need. The introduction of this new technology, which we introduced today, will revolutionize most of the things which even we developed up to now. Farming will change in the next 2 years. I'll explain in a very simple way very soon. And growing animals and all these things will change quite drastically. You do not need to create a lot of things, because now you can create in essence and emotion. As I said, I've taken a beautiful partnership with running the Keshe Foundation, and now I can concentrate on development, and I enjoy working because I can release the knowledge and the know-how. When I was talking to somebody this morning, I said to them, their plan was to take over the Keshe Foundation. Keshe Foundation is knowledge. What else? Doesn't have any assets. Why they want to bring what? To stop the knowledge going for the assets of the Keshe Foundation, which is nothing. And you will understand how these people are. We release the emails and communications, what they're asking for. You'll be shocked. The lady you trusted is sold not only my bed, but the whole of the foundation. You will see. The reality is that the foundation is a knowledge base with no assets, because the assets is you. And it's amazing how people see themselves, and will deliver a lot of knowledge. And the knowledge, it goes back to where it has to be. The knowledge in the way we will release this new unit I announced today is just a beginning of a massive knowledge. It's the beginning of, as I said, but today is 22nd. We entered the last month of what we said to completion. And from 21st of October, the head of the Keshe Foundation will announce series of developments for the Keshe Foundation as it comes available with it. But she says, till it's not there, I don't talk. She will talk because it will be there. And in that process, a number of new technologies for a deeper space travel will be opened up. As human work for us in making materials, the health, the water, and flight will be completed by 21st of October. From 21st of October onward, we open a deeper space travel technology, which is how you will travel the depth of the universe. And with it, we deliver technologies. The totality of the knowledge will be delivered in the next 6 months, ready for 21st of March, as I said, for the birth of new life to set on this planet. Will bring everything to celebrate the new life. And you will understand more. You will understand much, much more. The release of this new flight system is the beginning of opening the what we call transportation through transmutation, which this allows both the soul and the physicality to transmute and transport at the same time, never done before, except by the Creator. So we open the knowledge of the Creator to the universe. Conversion from matter to light and the strength of the light according to this environment, and by the speed of the thought and the soul. This technology will gradually open up, and by 21st of March will be completed. Unknown to man. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, Gatwa has a hand up here, so I suspect he would like to get a word in.
Yes, thank you very much, Rick. Good evening, Mr. Keshe.
Good evening, Mr. Gatwa.
Yeah, I have a question. First of all, thank you very much for everything you have done. We welcome all this technology, and it comes like in every minute there is a new technology announced. And before Keshe, we only heard of something new, maybe over 10 years, a decade or more. But you have released so much. So what worries me and what I've been wondering is, why is the world so quiet about it? I mean, I search every evening. I search the internet for news on the...
No, we don't need. You see, you're still working the old way, Dr. Gatwa. You're a member of, you're what I call the Universal Council member. And you had a young boy today, which we all believe he's a gorgeous guy. We have started to use the new understanding through the soul of the man. The souls know, and the knowledge is spreading like a wildfire through the souls. News is a man's made, what we call televisions and the rest of it. And we don't need, when it changes, you have to understand, and this is very deep, when the running of an organization like this planet is a hand of bunch of what I call misconducted people, pedophiles, and all the P's others you can put next to it, what do you expect? What do you really expect? The Pope, the priests, the prostitutes, the pedophiles, and the many, many other P's, they're peeing in their pants, knowing what is to come. This is the reality which comes. They have to, you see, when you teach people about how they can get to inner sanctum of themselves, there's a beautiful video. I asked, I cannot play video on mine, but I asked Raphael to get it made and sent to me, and it's beautiful. Rick, I sent you this video. If you can play it once you receive it. The biggest nightmare of all these P's is what you will see on this video. Have you received it, Rick?
It's still coming in, just a minute here.
Yeah. When you see this, it's done by the Brazilian team. It's gorgeous because it's used as part of a video. It's 29 seconds. This, in reality, shows the power of the man. It's one of the most beautiful videos I've seen for a long time. And the amazing thing with it, it explains what we've been trying to teach for such a long time. And the beauty of it is there. Just watch it for 29 seconds and watch what happens. And this is what we're teaching, putting picture. That's the soul of the man. And this is where the soul takes over the physicality. We still see it, but is enlightened. This is what all the peace were paying their pants for, that the man one day finds out the truth and become in possession of his own power. This is an amazing, very clear representation of what we think and what the teaching is about. They made two versions of it. There's another version of it, which is more or less the same, but you have to realize the difference. It's very much the same, but different. I send you, I don't know if you can see the difference. And this is what they are all being afraid of. That we realize, we become aware of our inner existence and its power to elevate not only itself, but our physicality. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So now, in a very simple way, not only we become aware of our inner being, but the governments don't like, the media don't like, because they lose everything. If you know the story of how Vatican became money-making machine, why the name of the Pope was chosen, and what they called them, the priests, and what happened with it beforehand, then you understand all three always work together. If you know the history of man in what I call in time of Christianity, beginning of the Christianity, when it came to Italy, how Vatican start making money. Originally, Vatican had no, because the Romans wouldn't let them make money. They made adultery punishable. And with it, they put a price on it. They brought the prostitutes for the men to go to them, and they gave the name to the priest, to the Pope. Then they went to the men, and men had to pay to the prostitutes and to the priests for punishment. And that's, the prostitutes were working inside of Vatican. That's how Vatican made this money. That's how it became rich originally, by the confession, by the priest putting the prostitutes for men to go to, and then in confession to pay twice. Actually, the original name for them was the pimps. Another P in the collection. This is, go and read the history of Vatican, how Vatican made money to build churches originally. And that's how you pay for sins, because they made it that way. Because if the man was aware of his own soul, with understanding what we understand now, we will not be taken to that limitation. And now you understand. There's one thing you got to learn, and one day, I hope you understand. If you ask with sincerity, and you are given with sincerity, you receive it and cannot be taken. And this goes again for the soul. I always ask. They tell me, why do you ask? Because when I ask and it's given, it's not the stolen, it's given. It's the one who gives has to understand. It doesn't matter what it is. And then he knows he's given, or she knows she's given, and stays loyal to what it is. I used to do this in my business. And I've always done the same. You don't like it, take it. No problem. When I used to go for a business as part of structure of my work, we used to do international stock clearance. The guy says, I want $10 for this commodity. I said, to me, worth £1. He says, no, I can't sell it. I said, this is my offer. Whenever you cannot and you need it, my pound is on the table. I walked away. Sometimes months later, weeks later, days later, you receive a call. The guy says, you can come and take it. But when I used to take it, I used to tell them, I'll take it with a good heart, because this money now gives you a chance to survive, gives you to replenish what was sitting here and you can't do anything with it. And I always became friend, because I asked for what I wanted. I asked for one, and I got for one. And with it, I made a friend. And it was always pleasure. That's why he always went to us with blessing. Even they knew they're losing money, but they knew it gave them line of survival. So it's the same with the soul. You ask for your soul to accept your physicality. And this is what none of you have learned.
Mr. Keshe, is there a secret of asking rather than, or other than giving in order to receive?
It's understanding the emotion of the soul, not the emotion of physicality. And we have to understand how to reach the emotion, how to reach the emotion of the soul. If we have an emotion in physicality and it says, I made man in the image of myself, there must be emotion in the soul. When you fall in love with the soul, you don't feel it in physical body. It's a very strange way of falling in love. Because if you're falling in love in a human term, we all know you lose your breath, you do all sorts of other things, and other things happens. But when you fall in love, it's the whole totality which is in love. It's not the heart, you don't feel it. You know, you used to see the loved one and the heart drops. Now when you fall in love, the whole structure, even the soul falls in love. And it changes. You don't feel it in a physical dimension, but there's a need to be part of, to share. You share the souls is in a very different way. If mankind learns to fall in love in the soul and physicality, mankind has matured. Wanting to love in the level of the soul is something man has to learn. And in a physical dimension creates a very strange, painful condition. The desire to be, and you can be with the soul, but you can't take the physicality with it because there has to be together. And you understand more. have our physicality have taken over the soul, encaged it. But now has to be the reverse. The soul of the man has to ask for his freedom, for his partnership. And you have to find a way to do that question to the soul of physicality. It's a very tricky job. And then you can become a light and still be seen. And this is the beauty of this picture. Within the light you see the structure. You are aware of the existence. It's a beautiful video, this one, if you understand the way I see it. And it's what I see with the soul of the man. I've fallen in love with the heart of the man and the physicality of the understanding of the emotion of the man, and the same with the soul, and I'll never change it. It's too weak when you fall in love with the heart of the man. Then he makes mistakes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, for your profound answers. And once again, thank you for everything that you do for all created beings everywhere in the universe. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. We don't speak through theory, we speak through reality and what we have essence experienced. That's why we touch the heart and the soul. The new system which will come into operation, as we promised you 8 months ago to see the enhancement unit, and you all knew was going to come and now is there. And this time, this system is much faster because we have it. We have to just do the last slide adjustment, amendment to it. Will allow the soul of the man to transmute in so many ways in the dimension of understanding the physical dimension of the transportation. And we will see more to come, more understanding to come. I have to be in a meeting in 10 minutes. I do apologize. Just 1 second, please. Oh my God. I have to go into a meeting. I do apologize. This is important for the work up there. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope we'll manage to share some more knowledge.
Mr. Keshe, una cosa importante di questo, one something important of this draw is that the brain doesn't change size; it stays the same. So I mean, the human body stays the same size.
I don't know. Chest didn't tell me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. I have to go and attend another meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope we learned a little bit more.
I think we did. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Well, that was all a nice surprise. Well, let's carry on with our show here.
This is Marie. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Since we are nearly 3 hours and we had so much information, maybe we postpone this soul teaching to the next Tuesday, if you don't want to go on for half an hour more or maybe more.
I think, Mary, anyway, we don't a soul teaching, and
yeah,
we don't.
I think so too. I think we got the soul teaching we needed. So, okay. I think we do it next time.
Okay, it's up to you. Do we want to, what was the other part? Did the Universal Council, the links to documents, or is there any Q&A part, or would you like to end the session now?
Well, if there is any questions, let people talk.
Well, we have Ike with a hand up, so let's begin with that. Go ahead, Ike.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, good day. Yeah, I'm suggesting, you know, those times Mr. Keshe comes in to speak, is there a way to extract it out from the whole session as a different clip? So we can always revisit and know exactly the times.
And how would that be published to you? Where would that be published?
On the same platform, you just to have it labeled, so we access it directly, because it's really
well,
deep.
the platform is the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace, and it has its own playlist. So where would you put an extract from that?
Well, we can still put it.
That's one of the problems, is maintaining and putting it and doing it, as well as making the video. And
so there's no way to
do all that.
Okay, I see. It's okay.
If you want to do it, if you, I just don't know who would be doing that. Somebody might do that. That often gets done. Excerpts are taken out and sometimes translated and so on and so forth in the various groups.
Okay, I will try and get someone to do, because I'm not too savvy with that technical stuff, but I think I can figure it out. If the foundation approve it, then we'll see how we can start extracting it.
Well, it's a matter of whether it goes through the Keshe Foundation officially, or whether people take their own excerpts and translations and reworks of the video and so on. Because, you know, you take an excerpt out of that and put the words to it and maybe translate it if that was appropriate, and republish it. And people have done that, and it's a great way to create a new video, and it gives YouTube a new channel, a new place for to contact a new contact
Exactly.
position.
Well,
On
that's
the
the,
other
that's
hand,
the that's the application exactly, to have it as a form of advertising material to different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and all that. These are extras that we can put in to have promote. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect that way, and anybody can make their own videos that way. It's pretty easy these days. So it's encouraged to pass on that kind of thing. There's usually no copyright issue as long as you make it clear that it comes from another place and so on.
Ulrike, I would like to suggest, because this is again we do exactly how we were talking with Raphael, that then there is a lot also different people then get, or like the Barbara last week, she was said it's very difficult to arrive to the foundation because we are so dispersive. I think the best things, this is what I think, is people like I didn't catch your name. I didn't. Ike. Yeah, people like you, Ike, that has this beautiful idea. You can apply to become a universal council supporter, or maybe you are already knowledge seekers. I don't know. I think you are knowledge seeker because I heard your voice many times, Yak. But the way to do it, I think, this is my idea, is to apply as a universal council supporter, and then of your language, and then through there you are more in contact direct with the Keshe Foundation directly, like Raphael said, to keep this thread from knowledge seekers, universal council supporter to the Keshe Foundation. So you always directly are in contact with the source. So people from the foundation can also let you know if somebody else already done it. So there is not the risk or do double jobs, or many people have the same idea at the same time. And maybe you find people who have your same idea and you can work together. And so in this way, we can create this structure where we're working together to spread the knowledge as fast as we can. Because it's true, it's a very great idea. And what you said, it's very connected of what Barbara said last week, that there are sometimes very long hours of teaching, and people they don't have all the time to look at the 4 hours and dig the bits that are the interest to them. But do something like you suggested is a nice idea. But I think if it's done through the foundation, it will we start to learn how to work together. And this way we don't have the risk to do double jobs or lost the work in the middle of I don't know, many other information. So in this way we can get more organized. So for people like last week, for people who are new, they then easier they find the knowledge, or they want to acquire to to grow. Yeah. And I hear the link. Yeah.
Hello, Rick.
For instance, it might be good to coordinate with the transcribing group, because they might want to transcribe what Mr. Keshe said. And so if you have that excerpt cut out, then it might get transcribed, and then it can be translated to different languages and used in all those different ways. Sorry, go ahead there, Shweta.
Hello, Rick. Oh, thank you, Rick. This is my dear ones, my dear souls. This is the continuation of the invitation for the Universal Council members and for the Universal Council support. And as dear Messiah said, the younger generation, I appeal to them. This is a call of love. And as we can see with Raphael, the blossoms new in Keshe Foundation. going ahead. So please join the younger generation. Please do fill the form with your soul. And this is the links to the document. You can enhance your soul. You can elevate your soul with the, go to the UC charter. You can go to the link and you have the UC charter. You can fill your heart and soul with that. The UC mandate next to it, the link to the UC mandate, how the Universal Council work, and how the universal community will be in interaction with all humankind, all humanity, I will say. And then the Earth Council Constitution, you can read that also. It is very, very helpful to know you, to know yourself, to know the I am, as shown in the video by my dear Messiah. The soul, we have to know how it is getting the physicality, manifestation in the beauty and totality. And then the peace roadmap, which is very, very much necessary for a traveler who is going to join the energy of the universal community, to step in peace, to learn how to be in peace, how receive the knowledge and give, be a giver. And we know when the energies interacts with each other in the level of understanding of the souls in the universal community, it becomes the power of supreme love, mostly manifest in beautiful and totality in the visible light. And when these energies interact in this lies, pain, in this false illusion, we say we call it a virus, the destroyer. So be the giver, be the courage, be the word, be alert, be, I'm sorry, try to receive the knowledge of the virtue of the heart, be brave with our heart and soul. And at the side of these links, here is the contact emails. There was a request in the earlier, last one planet, one race, one nation for an UC English. There is an UCS, Universal Council supporter for English, and two of them, Mark and Peggy, my dear sister. And if there is any question, you can send it to any of the
So you broke up there, Shweta. If there's any questions, you can send to any of these contact emails, I think you're going to say. Yeah, I think we've temporarily lost Shweta, so we'll have to wait till she comes back in. Dan is asking, out of 27, 17 members remain on the board. Can I update the list?
I think this list is accurate. It's active members.
Okay. And I see Sylviane has put on a link for, there's a group on Telegram for those who want to help with translations. Thank you very much. I'll put that into the YouTube. And into the live stream.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, you're back. Good. Yes.
Oh, I apologize. My internet is falling again and again. I apologize, my dear ones. So have you shown the email IDs of the contact emails?
Yeah, we have the contact email list here, and that's where we lost you at. You're about to say about the contact emails.
Yes, these are the contact emails. I wanted to enhance that so that everybody can see and contact immediately, so that we can maybe it will take a short time, a moment, some moments in time. You can say, my dear ones, that many things are going in Keshe Foundation, but still the blossoms like Raphael, like many younger people are going, coming and blossoming. So this is the beauty. Please contact us or the foundation. Be in the energy to go to interact with the universal community as a whole in all love. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear Rick. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, perfect. There was a question earlier from Dan about when's the next meeting on Brazilian television. Is there any answer to that?
Hello, can you speak?
Yes.
Hi, Rick. So we have an interview at a YouTube channel tonight with Mahi. She'll be there. I think that's the one that he's asking for, I believe. Maybe if he could clarify this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it meant maybe the national TV or something like that. But for your YouTube, for that YouTube channel or YouTube live broadcast, how would people be able to access that? Do you have a link or?
Oh yes, we have the link of that YouTube channel. The name is TV Galáctica. Is TV Galáctica? I think maybe I can post here. Just 1 second. I'll post the link here.
That'd be great, and I can repost it. Yeah, we see TV Galactica, but there we go. I believe, let's see what that brings. Okay, well that'll get people there. It looks like at least they can click on the. Okay, so I'll publish that link.
I post here the link. It's
okay. Okay, I'll repost that to YouTube. TV Galactica. So that's one of the popular YouTube channels in Brazil. Is that true?
This one have 30,000 followers. We have this interview in this channel weekly, and last week we had with Mahi, and now we have the second part of this interview with Mahi again.
Perfect. Okay, well, posted that, so you should have a few more people at the interview.
Raphael, can you tell us when CET time that will take place, please?
Oh, let me see here quickly. It will be 7 p.m. Brazil time. Maybe Mahi can answer that.
Yes,
Professor.
it's at midnight. 00:00.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there anything else that we should be discussing, or anything else that the UC would like to present? Any more questions?
Well, I think Universal Council is finished for today with their presentation. But if anyone who wants to comment on anything, please do.
Thanks for the reminder, Dan, of the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday is not at 9 a.m. as usual, CET, but 2 p.m., 5 hours later than usual. So adjust your TV sets at home to tune in at 2 p.m. Central European time rather than the 9 a.m. for the next Knowledge Seekers Workshop on Thursday, September 24th. And of course, we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which I host, coming up, well, at 10 p.m. Pacific time tonight, Tuesday night, or it's also Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central European time is when it starts. And we welcome beginners and nuclear physics experts alike, and anyone who would like to participate in furthering their knowledge in the plasma reactor group. And we especially like contributions of videos or pictures that you might have of your replications of the plasma technology and ideas and concepts and so on. So that's coming up. And we have the private teachings have also started in the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute with groups on various topics for starting the year, the school year now. So people are encouraged to become a student of KF SSI. For €100 a year, you can access the previous teachings of the Keshe Foundation in the private teachings, and keep current with the current ones. Okay, well, it seems like we should bring the show to a close here now. So I thank everyone for your attention and contributions today. Very good job, Universal Council, for bringing things to our attention. And we, of course, thank Mr. Keshe for the wonderful work that he continues to do in the background and brings us the news, the latest news of things happening as they sprout up from that environment. And it's really nice to hear about what's coming up and, of course, about what's actually happening now. So stay tuned to the Knowledge Seekers Workshop on Thursday, which I'm sure Mr. Keshe will have more surprises for us and elaborate on them. So, and again, that's at 2 p.m. Central European time on Thursday, September 24th. And then we'll be back to the regular time after that workshop. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for attending the 136th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020.